So you say we are live?
Yes, ma'am, we're live.
Okay, well, this is a meeting of the Board of Supervisors of Elections. It is Thursday, February 16th, 2023 at 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call. I'm Eileen Leahy. I am filling in, I'm acting chair this evening, filling in for Keanu Smith-Brown, who had another commitment for this evening. We have member Debbie Atzik, and we have Assistant City Clerk Cynthia Gaines, and then it looks like Ashley Leonard, Assistant City Attorney, is now coming on. To my knowledge, there are no comments that have been submitted. Cindy, did you get anything from Regina?
I did not.
Okay, usually she would check and let us know. So I'm assuming we're good there. And Debbie, did you get a chance to look at the minutes?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any comments, changes?
No, I make a motion to approve.
All right, I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approved. Okay, and the only item we have on for discussion this evening is an update on the amended campaign fund reports. So I sent that out a couple of days ago, and I'll just go through it. We can go through it together.
I have it.
There's a couple of pending reports that are out there. They still have time before that 30-day deadline, so we may be getting a few more in afterwards. I think with the holidays and everything, the last batch of letters going out a little later. Just going one by one. Friends of George Gallagher has been compliant, no action needed. People for Keanu Smith-Brown, I know that Mr. Smith-Brown and his treasurer went through all of their reports and their bank statements. He submitted the bank statements showing a zero balance, but the campaign needs to go back and amend their reports. So they found the issue. They just have to
Good. Okay.
submit it. Next is Friends of Katie George. A letter was sent out. We've not heard anything recently since we sent the last letter out. We have not heard anything more from Miss George or her treasurer since the last letter went out, which was, I meant to look it up. It was just about a week ago.
Okay.
Ashley, do you have the date by any chance? We did get bank statements from Miss George showing that she had done some disbursements and that the account was down to somewhere in the 200s. The disbursements looked appropriate. So basically, she was sent a copy of a campaign fund report draft using the bank statements that she sent in and was asked to please complete it, sign it, and get it back to us. And was given 7 days to return that. And I believe we are past those 7 days. So my understanding is that the city attorney's office is willing to move forward on the municipal infraction. I think we've done as much as we can do. We've sent 3 certified letters. We've offered to meet with her. We had a meeting scheduled, and that did not go forward. So that's where we are.
Who did her report? Did you do her report?
I did it. In hindsight, she submitted so many different things that it actually clouded the waters. And when I went back and looked at the last one that the last amended report that her prior treasurer had submitted, it was fine. And they all jived. I mean, they were all okay. So what she submitted in February, which was incomplete, threw everything off because the numbers didn't match. So once I had the bank statements, I could see that the December one was fine. So, and like I said, the disbursements appeared appropriate.
So her treasurer changed?
Her treasurer apparently changed. And so she was also sent the form to submit with the new treasurer. So that's where we are. We're still
Right,
waiting.
so the new treasurer has has knowledge that this needs to be done.
Yes, we'd had we didn't have an email for her, but we did have a mailing address.
Is she local?
Yes. So Miss George had identified her in one of her emails to Regina. So,
Okay. Yeah,
so I
it's
think
just a lot of your time, a lot of our time.
yeah, and as it turns out, it was not a difficult report to do. I mean,
But
she
now
just
it needs to either be closed out, that couple $100 needs to be closed out, or
Right.
she's just gonna keep the account open, even
It
though
looks
she
like
lives.
it's unclear if the account is closed, but the account was at, I want to say $293.68, something like that. So if there was more movement since then, the last statement that she submitted was, I can't remember exactly, but
Okay.
we'll wait and see. Hopefully but my understanding is that the city attorney's office is now going to move forward. Ashley, if you're on the call, we made a motion, I believe, at our December meeting to move forward with the municipal infraction. Do we need to do another one tonight?
No,
No?
it's
Okay.
no, we're because you guys had already decided we do the next letter and then if not, it rolls. So yeah, I
Right.
believe I was trying to check my records to see, and for some reason, I don't know, I can't find the one but I'm pretty sure it's been 7 days at this point too. So
Yeah.
I will remind the city attorney
Okay. Yeah,
of
because-
this, and he can get it on the docket, so to speak.
Right. I know the city attorney had, been asking for us to pretty much do as much as we could. And so
Yeah.
filling out the form for her is about the most we can do. So,
That's very gracious.
well, like I said, it turned out it wasn't very difficult to do. All right, so the next person is friends of Scott Gibson. He's compliant again. I think given that he's now on the task force for elections, we need to encourage him again to just go ahead and submit his final report. I know he's been talking about doing it. We just need him to do it.
I can ask him to do that. if you want.
Okay. He has a new baby in the house, so I know.
Right, yeah, little girl, first one.
So the next one is Monica Manthe. She has not submitted an amended report. She did submit an initial report that was submitted November 14th. It was missing some strike-throughs and initials. And September 3, the codes were missing, addresses were missing, and there were some incorrect entries. So really, she only needs to submit really Schedule 3 and also to pay the $250 late fee. She has received 2 certified letters. The most recent one was sent in December, which notified her of the violation pursuant to section 4.48.210 of the city code in regards to the late fee replacement. So,
A reminder.
well, I think at this point too, do we want to go ahead and submit this to the city attorney's office for follow-up on the municipal
Well,
infraction?
the last I heard, her treasurer was gonna pay it. Because he felt, obligated. He felt like he messed up.
Right, but we don't have it, and it's
Right.
now been,
So if it's going to her, did the letter go to the treasurer and the candidate?
I
or
believe
just-
all the letters have gone to all the treasurers so if you want to give her a call
Yeah,
and try that first, but I would like to make a motion that if we do not receive the late fee within the next 14 days, that we move forward with move forward with a municipal infraction.
and does the municipal infraction cost more or put something on your record, or what
Well,
does
you
that
go to
do?
court.
You
It's
go to
my
court.
understanding. Is that correct, Ashley?
You go to court, usually there is a fee and or a requirement to abate whatever the violation is in this case, the reports, there can be a fee tied to it. And then there is a record. I don't know if it doesn't go on your record per se, like a criminal record would, but there will be a court record of it.
And could people fight this? They really have no standing to fight it, right?
Well, I mean, hold on. Yes, they can go in and, they can appear at the hearing on behalf of themselves or with an attorney or whatever. So yes, they can. I'm not sure. I guess they could present whatever their reasons are. I don't know. And then the judge can consider it, but they are allowed to attend and present their own position.
Okay. I don't think there's much of a case there, though, if you just forgot and were late.
Well, there's
Yeah.
motion on the floor.
Yeah, there is a motion.
Oh, for the sending a letter?
No, well, we can I'll amend the motion to say we will send a final letter and request that within 14 days it be submitted. Otherwise, the city will move forward with a municipal infraction. I think 14 days is pretty.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, all of us in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Ashley, can you take care of that?
Yep, 14 days. Then we get moving.
Okay. I mean, nobody wants it to come to this, but we want to wrap all this up. And it's
For
now,
sure.
it's now 8 months, almost 8 months. And everyone's going to have to put in the next campaign fund reports are going to be in July.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Friends of Fred Paone. He did submit the $250 late fee, so that has been paid. There needs to be descriptions and codes to the disbursements that are marked other on Schedule 3. So that campaign just needs to get Schedule 3. Maybe it'll get in before the 30 days. So, but when I last checked with Regina, I think some of the challenge that the campaign might have is they have a significant amount of money. And it's a question of closing the account if they choose to do that. Any comments on that one, Debbie?
No.
Okay. Friends of Rock Taves is now compliant. The Annapolis Democratic Central Committee is compliant. Annapolis Republican Central Committee is compliant. Ross Arnett is compliant. The Friends of Gavin Buckley is now compliant. They submitted schedules 1 and 3. So no further action is needed. Rhonda Pindell Charles, she still needs to just make a correction on Schedule 3. And they submitted a Schedule 3, but the mistake was still there. So all they need to do is get that in. Sheila Finlayson is compliant. Dewan Gay is compliant. Friends of Karma is compliant. The Friends of Rob Savage. He needs to correct his aggregates on Schedule 1. He submitted an amended report, but the aggregates were not recalculated.
Mhm.
And Schedule 5, he put in the names and the addresses, and then he missed the April entry.
Mm.
So he just needs to correct that. The math and everything otherwise was okay. So those are pretty easy things to fix. So hopefully he'll get those in before the last 30 days is up. The Brooks for Annapolis is compliant, and Eleanor Tierney, they updated their aggregates for Schedule 1, and so they're now compliant. So the ones we're still waiting on are Keanu Smith Brown, Monica Manthe, Miss Katie George, Friends of Fred Paone, Rhonda Pindell Charles, and Friends of Rob Savage.
And everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, right? each
Right,
of
they
these.
got their analysis from. So I can ask, maybe next, I'll ask Regina to send out a reminder to those, just saying, please get them in. So hopefully we'll have them all by the end by our March meeting.
And did you say from your historical knowledge that this is more than normal?
Absolutely.
I wonder what changed,
Candidates,
like why?
candidates.
Well, we should not allow anyone to run if they don't know how to follow directions.
Well, unless they get this in technically, especially if they owe money, they can't run for office.
Right.
So, it's unfortunate. In the last election cycle, we had an election associate that worked with everybody. We updated all of the forms. We did a candidate handbook that we asked everybody to sign off on. We couldn't even get all of those. I recognize that it's not an uncommon thing once an election is over for the people who don't win to just drop it. But
Right.
again, I know that before she left, Susan Ecker tried to get everybody to close their accounts. It's the easiest, fastest thing for people to do. And just take responsibility. So moving towards July, we'll work on getting the word out again. So we'll go from there. So we've made progress. That's the good news.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else? Only other thing I was going to mention was the task force members were approved at the meeting on Monday.
Were they there?
They were not there that I could see. And Regina and I have started working on putting together information for them, mostly things like the work sessions, some of the meetings we had after each election. And then we have, I think, Regina, Ashley was going to touch base with you about that comparison that you did a while ago with our code versus the state code. Include that. And then Regina and I have actually been going through our code and making comments as far as just based on institutional knowledge and history. So want to get them, off to a good start. So I'll touch base with her next week. I don't know when their first meeting will be. I imagine she has to send out letters. I know Keanu drafted letters, not just to the people that were approved, but also to the people that submitted applications.
So do the 5 know, they all know they are on it?
I believe so. Yes. Well, they know that they knew that their name was up for approval at City Council.
And the next step then is Regina pulling them together. And somebody has to, I guess, decide on a date and a time, and then they'll have to elect a chair.
Right. So,
and is it going to be Zoom or in person, their meetings?
It's all Zoom. All the meetings are Zoom these days. So there'll be a public hearing. We'll have to work some of that out. But when I asked about it the last time, I was told no, everything was Zoom. I even asked about Pip Moyer. So now I am going to ask again, as far as do all of their meetings need to be public? Because I know, again, with the Charter Revision Commission, our meetings were not public necessarily. We published minutes. So we'll work that out. So
hopefully they're going to meet before our next meeting.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because they have a timeline, right?
It starts with their first meeting.
Okay.
Not with their appointment. So, yeah.
Okay.
So
I'd like to know, our group, our Board of Supervisors of Elections should be apprised of of their meetings, right? And how things are going.
Sure. Well, I'll be reporting, I mean, as the
Okay.
liaison, I'll be reporting at every
pass on.
meeting,
Okay,
and when things go out to them, especially in the beginning, I'll probably, we'll probably CC members and
Okay.
that sort of thing. So,
perfect.
yeah, so we'll get that all set up.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions? Kathy? Oh, one thing I'll ask Regina to put on our agenda for our next meeting is to get some clarification about the ward redistricting.
Mm,
So that we want to get that clarified as we move forward with elections too.
right. I did have a question. When does that take effect?
There were comments at the city council meeting saying after the next election, but which election is that? Is that to me? I don't think they were. I'd have to go
That's
back and look. I don't think they're thinking municipal because there's going to be elections on the state and federal level before our next election. So I can't imagine that it will go in effect in 2029. So
Yeah, that's,
so the
if it was, right, if it was after the next municipal election, that's pushing it way down the
Right.
road.
So I have to go back and look. I mean, there is a section in the Department of Commerce that I looked up last time when we had to do something, but my guess is that the State Board of Elections is moving forward with making changes. So, because the other thing to look for based on the census will be if election materials need to be presented in a second language. And that's based on a percentage of the I believe it's percentage of the registered voters. So anything else?
I'm
Anything
good.
on your end, Ashley? Nope. Cindy, anything you need or clarification? Nope. All right, well, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Okay, motion to adjourn this meeting of February 16th, 2023 of the Board of Supervisors of Elections at 7:22.
7:22, it might be a new record. All right,
Yay.
on a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, well, thank you, everybody.